Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien on the morning of the Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. I hope you guys had a good Wrong Way Gorgons Day, Columbus Day yesterday. Anyway, today's commentary is on Israel and the Palestinians. Uh, Big problems that they don't understand. To the Palestinians, I say, Palestine ceased to exist in 1948. You had no control over it. And you should look at history and see what happens to other people in your situation, okay? And I'll get to that in a second. To the Israelis, I say, a mistake by the British have caused this problem. And there's a lot of people all through the centuries that never got their homeland, okay? What they were thinking, I have no idea. But once you get displaced from your homeland, the odds of getting your homelands back is 1 followed by a quadrillion or more zeros. To you Israelis, I say, you are a product of a mistake and a way of thinking that should never have happened back in 1947-48. And it's caused problems for the rest of us down the decades. And that's not being anti or pro this or anti that. That is just being serious as an alien from another planet telling you, this is what you got to look at. You occupy a land that's been fought over century after century, and different people have occupied it here and there. Right now it's you. But you know that, like the other guys, you're going to cease to exist here. So is the so-called Palestinians. Palestine hasn't existed in 1948. It ceased to exist on Partition Day. Okay? The problem you got is, like everything else, and I'll give you some examples here, Israelis and Palestinians. You can't coexist. Well, look at the Americans here. They can't coexist among themselves either here, let alone you over there. And that's the problem. Coexistence. You got to learn how to coexist. And you haven't. Two-state solution? Really? Hamas, what are you going to do with the West Bank? Trust me. Other than hate Israel, what do you got? Did you tell the Palestinians what do you want the West Bank for? Other than a place to stage attacks on Israel? Let me know. You guys on the West Bank, you got the Israelis and you got the Jordanians, and neither one of them want you. Are you viable enough to be a state? Well, if you form yourself like Switzerland, maybe. But are you willing to do that? You're too Muslim to do that. And that's the problem. And I don't mean this in an anti-this and pro-that way. I mean this as a truthful human way. Look at your religion. It's like Christianity. They are too pain in the neck being Christians, they forget what it is to be human. And that's your problem in the West Bank. Over there in Gaza, the problem is Hamas. They need a place to stage attacks because they got a hatred of a land they can't get and will never get. That's Israel. In Israel, the Americans are finding out that they are disintegrating themselves. How long would they keep on providing the $3 billion? They can't. You know that. Prime Minister Netanyahu knows that. Sooner or later, the Americans, the hardliners, are going to come into power, and they're going to be nasty. Look at Mr. Getz over in the U.S. Congress. Oh boy, is he nasty. And Taylor Greene over there. Those crazy Republicans and left-wing Democrats are driving the country crazy. And you expect them to be a good ally? I don't think so. Anyway, that's your problem, Israel. You got this problem to look at. The Arab countries. Saudi Arabia is finding out that their oil eventually is not going to mean a thing because oil is on the way out. Their power is waning. So is Iran's. Because the world is going to turn to other forms of energy. Therefore, you Muslims that are funding money to Hamas and Hezbollah, they're going to run out of money because you won't have money to fund to them. Coexistence, people. You all coexisted in Ur. That's where all of you came from. That's Abraham and all the people that left Ur that later became Muslim and Jewish. Arab and Muslim, Arab and Jewish. They all came from Ur. Okay? You got a common ancestry, whether you like it or not. Are you willing to coexist as a coexisting descendants of a coexisting ancestor? Yeah? That's up to you. And you Americans and the rest of the world who look at it just like, oh, we got to save the Israelis, we got to save the Palestinians. You don't have to save either one of them. They are all save themselves or not at all. Look what happened in history when you formed countries like Israel and India and Pakistan, Israel and Gaza and the West Bank, Czechoslovakia. You wanted to form a country, so you took the Slovaks and you took the Czechs and you put them together. Oh yeah, they can coexist. Did they? They were forced to exist with each other, not coexist. And in the 1990s, well, what do you got? The Czech Republic and the Republic of Slovenia. Bingo. Yugoslavia. You forced a whole bunch of people in there. You forced the Bosnians, you forced the Serbs, and the Croats from Croatia, and you got yourself a nice civil war that cost thousands of lives for something stupid that was done decades ago. See what I mean? That's another one of those. The British tried the same thing with Ceylon, now Sri Lanka. And it's caused a lot of problems between Israel and Sri Lanka. India and Sri Lanka there. Same with the partition of India. See what I mean? It's problems that your way of thinking has caused because you never thought of the cost of the law of unintended consequences. You got to look at that, people. Especially your so-called leaders that run your countries. If you call them countries, I call them a disaster. My ancestors on my home planet that destroyed themselves with 14 billion souls had the stupid way of thinking that you guys have here on this planet. And it cost them their planet and the solar system. When they destroyed themselves, they destroyed the solar system with 4 other planets. 4! And 3 of them were inhabited. Do you understand, humans and Americans, Israelis and Arabs, what I'm talking about here? I don't think so, because you don't have the comprehension of the gumption to understand and said, we got to stop this mess here, now, and forever. Good day.